Hello, stream. Hello. Yeah, so we live stream this to our YouTube. It's part of our value of transparency and stewardship and accessibility that we like to make sure we all have access to this afterwards. And we also are sharing this with the world because what we're doing here is kind of unique. I am Heyu with Bridgemakers. This is our weekly community builder meetup. And what we're doing is learning how to practice being with both the pain of community building, which is our first hour, and then also the practice of recognizing how much the environments that hold us also shape our sense of community and and can be in a positive or a very uncomfortable, unpleasant way. So the second hour is usually dedicated when I don't lose track of time so bad like I did last week. The second hour is usually dedicated to world hopping and asking a very simple set of questions. How does this world make community and how does it break community? And we start with the world that we're in, so you can be thinking about that as we share today. Um, but before we jump into sharing, basically just one community building pain point is going to be the invitation, and we're going to practice reflective listening with each other. But before we jump into that, we like to set norms, which is just basically helping us all get on the same page about how to hold the space together. So this isn't like Hey's like show, but this is like our circle. And so you can look at anybody with the Bridgemakers logo on them. Looks like Theo and Carl have it up. And you can look at the rules to see some of our norms. These are some of the things we often will mention in every meeting that we kind of do to create that space in that moment. Or you can also think about something in your communities or a community you want to build even that is really a vital ingredients to make sure that these moments go well together and they don't turn lopsided or wapajad or where five of us leave going that was such a great meeting and two of us are just like I don't remember why I exist because that does happen, right? And because we don't have the nonverbals with each other to check body language and make sure that we're all jiving together, it can be really hard to pick up on that if we're not staying deeply perceptive and listening and paying attention to how we're sharing the space. So the norm setting is a way to kind of chime in with how we're each going to be practicing and we hope we can teach each other how to be present with each other. So that being said, who would like to name a community building norm that makes a good community moment? Who would like to start?
I could start us off.
Okay, go, no, and Cole.
One thing that I like to do is encourage people at the start of every parent talk that I host to just take a moment to look around and not even mind the awkward eye contact. I encourage it. And to just acknowledge people, acknowledge the people around them, say hi if they want to in some kind of way, however they're comfortable. That's one good norm. Just encouraging people to say hi and
kind of just making some motion that says I see you. Even if I don't currently possess eyes, as our new friend here, and actually another cube in the corner, no eyes there, but still eye contact doesn't just mean eye contact, it means eye contact, right? Yeah.
A little wiggle.
Yeah, exactly. A little wiggle, a little nod. I saw you start nodding, Axel, and I was like, yeah, Axel remembers the body language piece. When we're on desktop, we can forget because maybe in physical reality right now, Theo is nodding vigorously and being like, that's so true. That's so true. And Theo doesn't know that Theo is on mute, and Theo doesn't know that nobody knows Theo is but the emojis are another way. Right? Yeah. Theo's like, you don't see this? We do see that. That's great. Yeah. So eye contact. How do I be with me so I can acknowledge you? Love that. Okay. Who else? One community norm. Is this you stroking your chin?
No, I'm thinking. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have
This is
anything.
the
Okay,
thinker vibe. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
can I
Okay,
can go
Carl,
then,
your
and
turn.
I gotta check myself actually. I know. Yeah, okay. I'm on orange, and I know Theo went green to make sure Profi saw the instance.
Mhm.
But we like to have everybody present on orange status so that the people here with us are, here intentionally and are those folks that plan to come or, at least got here in the beginning. If you do say, for whatever reason we want to, be inviting our communities, you can have your status on blue, but knowing that you're and expected then to go and orient people who may spawn in late and let them know what's going on. Um, Otherwise, if you're on that status and people come in, they could potentially throw off the flow of somebody talking or just, not be what they're looking for at all. A lot of people are looking for the different things when they're cruising around VR chat, and I think this is maybe not a common destination for a lot of people. So
We
I,
put the
I know I'd love to
emphasis.
stumble into it, but
Oh, yeah. And, this is a way to like welcome them in basically by being on orange so you can go greet them and let them know where we are even because often you will find especially on this kind of circle night, I don't put our circles right next to the instance. It's a little bit of a hunt for the first
yeah.
wayward person. So Theo has been quite the
Hmm.
errand runner for the last month or two, doing the retrievals.
And
Thank you, Thea.
I guess for a quick
Mm-hmm.
explainer for anyone that's kind of newish still,
Mm-hmm.
or even maybe watching and doesn't know the kind of statuses in VR chat, but on red is like do not disturb. You won't even get a notice if somebody tries to request off you. Orange, it tells you and you can choose whether to let them in, but it doesn't show them from the outside what you're doing. Uh, and then on green, they can see the instance that you're in if it's, available to them. And then also still, if they request, it'll show you the invite. On blue, it just automatically accepts that invite, doesn't bother you at all, and lets them into the instance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
orange is, again, preferred for our events.
Well put. Thank you. Very good. All right. Next, Norm.
I got one.
All right,
Can
Jay.
you hear me? Well, this is. I
You
don't think this
sound
is on. This
kind of
isn't.
far away,
Yeah, you're
actually.
pretty low. You're right next to me, and I can barely hear you.
Okay. I've got my microphone right up at my face now. Okay.
Yeah,
Is that better?
peaking a tiny bit, but
Much better.
definitely much more audible.
Yeah.
What you said? Peaking?
Yeah, like it's just
Is
like,
it
yeah, it's
okay?
fine.
How
It's
about
not
that?
like making you hard to
How about this?
understand or anything. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. This is not on the list, but something that I just thought of is having a plan for any uh to have a solution to a problem or turning negativity into something positive. I'll elaborate this a little bit more on my pain point when we get to that.
Mm,
Yes, it is. Yeah, I have discovered throughout my experience with online friends, like it is useful. In I think it's very encouraging to know like if somebody like if I'm struggling to know for to let people know that I have an idea of what might be a way to uh, solve this problem or to what I write. I wrote this down in my notepad.
mm,
Okay. Yes. To use anything. To yeah. Basically, if you can't solve a problem, maybe turn it into a learning experience.
mm,
So yeah, I think there is a lot to complain about. There's a lot to be angry about, but there's also, you know, you can always be used as a springboard for making something good, bring good out of it. So I'll explain this after my pain point, that my a specific example I had, but does that make sense?
It does.
Maybe
Yeah.
you could say that as practice civil discourse or
Hmm.
civil and productive discourse,
Maybe.
because there was that kind
Okay.
of
What's
building
interesting
on.
about the norm of it is sitting there and saying how to flip something negative into a positive. That was the first thing you said. And technically, the event we're doing today is the opposite of that to some degree.
Mm.
We're actually here to be with what hurts and not make it better. And that feels odd because most of life is about trying to make it better. And yet the muscle that we're building is learning how to pause between that place of ache and that place of flow. Because many times, if we don't pause and breathe there, we're still in a nervous system response that is out of fear. And that fear, even though fear can feel certain, it can feel conviction, it can feel like um, heroic, even, it can do a lot of damage. And so this time is a time to be with what isn't working and make space for that. And the strength I hear in what you're saying is that, Jay, is that sometimes because we don't have any of these spots in life to be with the pain, then when somebody says, "Hey, how are you?" all that comes out of your mouth are centipedes that are like dead. And I just think, how are those centipedes feeling about being in your mouth, And then I'm going to talk about all the bugs that have come and haunted me and just how negative of all those moments were. And now you're sitting there and going, how do I wrap this back in my tongue? Now you're saying all these things that I don't necessarily agree with or want to know about your bug expeditions. So I get that like negativity can be contagious and it can turn into a really draining experience. And what I want us all to notice today, how much there's truth here or not, because this could just be a wild way to make us do new things in uncomfortable ways. I'm torturing you all slowly. But notice the difference, right? Between spinning it positive and pausing and breathing with it. And what happens when we don't fix? Just notice it. And thank you, Jay, for recognizing that there's boundaries to everything, right? So if we did this for like 4 hours tonight and just get all your pain points out, boom, 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 like who here would wilt into the ground and probably leave Bridgemakers forever? Me. That's a lot. We can't do that. We have to have boundaries, right? And boundaries make it an offering instead of just a vent. Yeah, thank you.
An offering. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, the vent channel, the notorious vent channel of the discords that get tried for, yeah, that get tried for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then everybody doesn't want to be there anymore, and then they get deleted. The
We had ours for
regulation.
like 2 years.
Oh, well, look at that. The ancients can handle the heat a little better, but what ends up happening is there's not a constructive rhythm to allow for those pieces to come and digest them together. So then it just becomes watching people vomit and feeling more and more helpless and dreading more and more looking at that thing. And then the leaders get to go in and mop it up, try to figure out, all right, who's going to hurt themselves if we don't say something, like who needs resources. I mean, it turns really, really dark. So there's a lot of wisdom in whatever your pain point's going to be that says, wow, we got to be careful here. And really what we bring to this particular event is it's like an appetizer of our misery. I don't know. My words are weird today, but it's a saying something and giving air and space to somewhere inside of us that just knows there's not a lot of people that when they say, "How are you?" they really want to hear whatever you're going to share tonight. And that's sad because the us that we are includes the highlights and the drag and the sad and the not enough. And if all we can embrace is the brightness, we're just playing with light, but we're not our whole beings together. And without being whole, we cannot grow relationship that can last through fire, through storms, through misunderstanding. So thank you, Jay, for that. And I wonder if that landed for you, or did I just run all over your really beautiful statement?
Well, I maybe no, I think there's different aspects to this. I'll elaborate a little bit more when I get to my pain point of what I meant. I
What that
probably
meant?
could better explain this through example.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I'm
All right.
looking
But
forward to
I am
hearing
looking
that.
forward
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yes,
lovely.
because but no, like the question, how are you? I've heard that so many times, and I'm thinking like, okay, how many people who ask this are really asking, are really checking in on you, and how many are just expecting you to say,
Yeah,
like to tell me what I want,
yeah,
But yes, that makes
yeah,
sense.
exactly. When people say, "How are you?" the automatic piece is, "Tell me if I need to distance myself from you because you're about to blow." That's kind of what we mean. It's a, hey, if you can't say fine, then I might need a boundary here. But that's not the same thing as how are you? That's, are you going to hurt me? And that feels like an awkward way to greet somebody. So we say, how are you? Yeah. So who else would like to name a norm next? Because everybody names something. All right, Theo. Guess we're going in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good way. It keeps everybody having their turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, one of the norms is be sure not to be on a substance when you come to spaces like this, where it can derange and detach a person's being connecting in the space here, because sometimes with substances you're always perceiving a bit too farther out that people can't connect and really see what you're seeing,
Mm.
and
Ooh.
how important it is to also give respect as well. The idea of, I'm going to be high on an event with people who I don't care about, is
Ooh.
sometimes what it can sound like when someone joins an event to in an altered state. So
Yeah.
having the genuine appreciation and respect for members here, and to be open about your own space if you need something like that, to inquire into a psychotherapist
Mm.
or a good friend to talk to that can help you through any addiction or difficulties that
Mm-hmm.
people have.
Yeah. Thank you, Theo. Yeah, the no substance use piece, it's you are all accountable to yourselves. And when you said that, Theo, I thought, how do I use you and how do I choose you? And we're asking everyone present to choose each other. And that means that we have to practice being as present as we can in our full body selves. And well, there's a lot of reasons that we'll use substances at times to try to kind of take the edge off and whatever. This is an invitation to lean in here more than anywhere else you can to reduce and ideally eliminate that. Just for the 2 hours we're together. That's it. Okay, Axel, you got a norm you want to share?
Yeah, it comes from my theater community, but it's just something that I just like to retell myself and other people when a lot of stuff is happening, and it's just that, just hold the space for just whatever is to come in the moment. I think that's like that's my norm that I usually try to practice a lot of. So.
Yeah. That sounds like the norms of the trees that are surrounding us. Hold the space for whatever is about to come. In some indigenous languages, trees literally mean, like, the name of the tree is not tree, it's called landholder, earth holder. And I think about how different the world would be if we were slaughtering earth holders, and recognizing that when we take these things away from the ground, we lose the ground under our feet. And just a very different frame to understand how we're affecting our planet and ourselves. And, we could also say these are breath holders, right? Because they breathe us back what we need to breathe. So they're air and earth holders. Wow.
Sure.
Hold the space.
Mm.
Okay, Frofador. What's a norm for you?
Um, well, I don't run any communities or lead
Okay.
anything yet, but I've thought about it.
Mm.
I mean, showing respect to people. I mean, at least having the decency to let people know that, like, if someone expresses opinion, don't just dismiss it or
Mm-hmm.
deny it, or, you know, just basic respect feels like it's something that feels weird to have to remind people, but I think it is important to, like, make that a standard, at least as like a top rule of any community.
Yeah.
And I always hesitate if I see something that doesn't have that in their, like, rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the word respect. Once I broke it down into 2 words: respect, respectacle, relens it.
Mm.
And so when somebody doesn't feel respected by me, instead of me being like, "What? I was totally respecting you. What are you talking about?" I get to go, "Wait, what lenses am I wearing? Oh, maybe I didn't switch them when I thought I had. And maybe you're going to tell me some pieces that I was not listening for that will change my lens of you. And you were asking me to change my lens of you. And I didn't pick up on that because I was using an old lens of you that maybe I was using on Theo or somebody." So respect is a way to keep practicing switching lenses and learning how to focus in and listen. So part of how we respect each other is we do reflective listening with each other. And we take turns hearing the pain point, and somebody will volunteer, hopefully everybody here, to reflect that back and say, "Here's what I heard you say. Did I get that?" And that's a way to practice respect, learning how to resonate. So thank you. All right. So no one, you've gone. So I will name some of the others that we've missed here. There's one of them is say hello, say goodbye. And that is also part of respect, understanding that we hold space and we take up space. And when we disappear without acknowledging the human things that pull us away, it can feel abrupt and it can feel mysterious and it can feel sad at times. So, doing the decency to respect each other. And if you do have to go, try to stay. But if you do have to go, let us know what's pulling you away. And that's a way for us to just understand and make meaning out of the pain of your absence, because we do feel each other here deeper than most places. What's another one? For those of you who have been here before. Yeah, Carl. Oh,
The like recording advisement.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm like fumbling around with all my stuff over here.
Okay. Yeah. So I think everyone was here when we started this, but we are streaming live recording. Our request is if you record, please record, or please don't record. But if you take photos, you're welcome to take photos. Please take photos with name tags off. And so this is part of our respect of each other. While we do practice transparency, we're not trying to practice exposing, right? So we have masks, we have anonymity, and if you have any concerns later on about what's shared, go review the stream. And if you need to check in about something you said that just is really not sitting and you're interested in talking about that and maybe having it pulled out, even though that can be extra work, but we'll have that conversation and we'll try to respect your wishes. So, okay. Another one is kindness. Practicing kindness. What does kindness
Is it?
mean?
I know Theo had hand up a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Carl. Um, of course, RSVP for our events so
Yeah.
that events aren't canceled. Um, always use if you're not speaking, use some emotes or having your hand raised when you want to speak out on something.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to add something to what someone has said, a use of your body, use of emotes, all well accepted. And I wasn't sure, I wanted to ask this, if there is a limit to how many norms you can actually say in this.
I
So
don't think so.
I kind of wanted to add one because I thought about this, especially
Oh.
how we've been going in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a good one would be introduce yourself. Um, where we're saying each other's names because with the name tags off, sometimes we can look at each other and see the name tag, oh, this is Axel or oh, this is Frodo. But on the stream or just in general in a space like this, nobody knows each other sometimes, and it's like, how are you? Or rather, the question, who are you? So that we can understand together that space a bit more.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think that one has come up before, and where it's defaulted to is, we are using names when you raise your hand. You are called on, but I think part of what I appreciate about that transparency that we're practicing is I don't want people to know your names. I want people to know your hearts, and I want people to know themselves through your hearts and feel like, whoa, that's my voice talking. And the more differences we put out of like, I am my own human, the harder it is many times to just kind of go into that place of deep listening, because now I'm trying to keep track of who said what, and somehow that feels important to me. um, so I look at this a little bit like a living podcast of voices with different cartoonish avatars that are lining up to share their hearts. And in a different kind of event, which we've had some of these before, like leadership meetups where people are just coming to say, here's where I am on my leadership or community builder journey. Here's my pain point, whatever. Those can be more like, oh, we're networking. Okay, But specifically in this circle, there's a fine line between feeling anonymous and feeling exposed, And so for me specifically in holding this space, I shy away from having people say too much about who they are in their world, because I think we can do the second part without the first part and still get a lot of meaning out of it. Um, this isn't so much about the identity as it is about the ache, and those aches are universal. So thank you. And there is a place for that. And I wouldn't say this particular event is where I would encourage that kind of piece. Even though it can feel good to anchor it with each other, for the time container and for the practice of not needing to attribute separate identity to the pain, the sharing without the context is more than welcome here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think we got the majors. Thank you, Theo, for offering that. These norms that people bring, they're not wrong. They're just, we get to see how they adjust to the ones we're already holding. And I partly invite that because even if it's not a norm to apply today, it still might be something we pick up for other events. And we want these community ideas being shared with the world, because other people might be like, yeah, that's totally my norm for all my events going forward. Yes, you shared it. Shut up, hey you. So like there's a lot of goodness in what you're naming, even if it doesn't apply right now. Yeah. Okay. All right. So pain point time. What I'm going to invite is maybe just about a minute. Try to keep within a minute of sharing. And then somebody, hopefully here, we're all going to listen deeply to you, and somebody will volunteer to reflect that back. And again, the reflected back is, here's what I heard you say, as simply and genuinely as we can, just giving people their words back. And then, did I get that? And then we'll all kind of help with seeing if there was more pieces there. Who would like to go first? Hmm.
Well, if
Okay.
nobody else is volunteering, I'll go.
Go for
Or
it,
if
Jay.
somebody else wanna go.
Nope.
Okay. Well, okay. I actually had this. So when I talked about turning negativity into positivity, so one of my parents' long-term friends, I'll call her Ethel. Her husband was just about the most immature adult I ever known. He was constantly picking on people, and I mean, he actually though had enough charisma to get away with it. Like a lot of people loved him. Nobody ever called him out, even though he was constantly just pushing and just pestering, little kids and teenagers, just people who couldn't
Yeah.
fight back. I thought that was one of the most obnoxious, situation I'd been in. But one of the things though is that I've discovered from that has enabled me personally to be more patient with the children I encounter, like particularly my older brother's kids. They love rowdy housing. My nephews, yeah, but no, I know we're talking about pain points, so I'm a little bit. I don't know. I have finally told my mom I didn't like this person, and I thought somebody should have called out her friend, uh, Ethel's husband, uh, for you know, told him to knock it off. But the fact that he didn't, nobody did, made me really lonely for like almost 2 decades about this. But yeah, I don't know how she's gonna respond to that. But I will say, I do tell her I was praying on her behalf. And I do, you know, hope that he's grown up since then. So
Mm.
yeah, but anyway, does that make sense?
Let's see. Who would like to try reflecting Jay back? Hmm.
I can try reflecting
Go
back.
for it. Yeah.
But awful situation to be in, having a character that everybody loves, but when nobody is not acknowledging or pointing out and properly judging them for their flaws,
Mm. Yeah.
it's a very uncomfortable, awkward situation to be in. To be the person that speaks up, oftentimes people will not want to bring it up because they want to, whether they want to stay on good terms with this person or just don't want, what's the word I'm looking for? Drama. So sorry you had to experience that. Know what it's like.
Thank you, Noah. So the second part then is, did I get that? Yeah.
Well,
You,
yeah, mainly. I mean, this was. I mean, the incident itself was 20 years. You know, my mom was still good friends with this person's husband. Well, this was like this person's wife, and I just, you know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't. I think this might be one of the things most people say. Let it go. You know, I just wanted to lay this grievance to rest once and for all. But yeah, I don't like. I. Uh, but you know, like I said, I do think this, in a very odd way, has taught me to be patient with children. Like my brother's two kids who and they get rowdy. I mean, but you know, like I'm one of the kids actually. Actually, that probably drives my parents up the roof. But um, so that's mainly it. Yeah, like it's aggravating, but like I said, I think this will also may eventually drive me to learn to intervene when I see other my peers, acting like not like getting too rough with kids. I yeah. But yeah.
So when this was happening, were you a kid when he was being harmful to children?
Was seven. I was 17, and yeah, it's like
That's still a kid.
nothing that was just yeah. But yeah, and I saw like I heard that he'd be doing this to other kids too.
Yeah.
Like, but again, like he was so charismatic that he got away with it. Like he
Mhm.
was very very charming. He like everybody loved his sense of humor,
Mhm.
but and he also had apparently a really hard backstory. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's basically it. I was 17 at the
Yeah.
time.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it really sounds invasive what was going on there and then ignored. So, yeah. Thank you for sharing, Jay. It's really
Yep.
tough.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Oof. So I'm connecting it back to your norm, and I'm hearing that there's a growth for you and saying, I don't want to wait 20 years next time. I want to learn how to say, hey, it's not okay what you're doing. And speaking up to your mom was a step in that direction. Yeah, I hear you. Who would like to share another pain point? And I did see your hand, Dio, and I want to keep this going here. So if you want to share next, though, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
I'll share. My pain point is something I'm still unsure to talk about too, as well. But it would only start off as a question. Otherwise, then I'll change it to something else, I think. But would it be okay to to have something related around substances.
Oh, that's it. Thank you for the question. I appreciate the respect of the space. I think there's a way to talk about substances that doesn't talk about substances, and I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this before, but having been around a lot of therapists in my life, I heard a lot of statements where people would be like, "I don't feel comfortable with that because my therapist says blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah."
Mm-hmm.
And the reality
Mm-hmm.
is they could just say, "I don't feel comfortable with that." And I'm learning about why, and here's something I've learned. And so just like we throw the thing to the priest or the therapist or the self-help video instead of saying, "Here's my truth." We can do
Right.
that with substance too. Substance is a type of bridge, but it can also become a type of blame. Blame it on the thing instead of just
Yeah.
owning, I had a conflict. I made some decisions I regret, if that's true, and I'm hurting from that. So that would be the frame I would invite you to consider. Try not naming the substance and just saying in 1 minute or less something that happened that was painful.
Mm. I really appreciate that
Sure.
sort of response to that, and I'll have a go at it.
Sure.
So, this is one of the reasons I went on VR, is because before I even had my moment of anything, I was very depressed. And
Mm,
I couldn't find my space. I couldn't feel like I could let go of anything. I
mm,
was so hard on myself, and I had even gone through panic attacks that I couldn't control. That swayed my emotions into something bipolar that I may or may not have, that I still don't know about. Um, and so the only sense of security was the substance at
mm,
first, and out of that experience brought curiosity. It brought much curiosity. It brought much interest. It brought much perspective shifting. It helped with a lot of things. But a lot of times coming back to it, I'm really questioning myself of what am I clinging with that is not the same thing as it once was before?
mm,
And
mm,
also, how am I really understanding it in a way that's not, breaking my human self is something I
mm,
keep coming back around when I go through my experiences. And some of these things are just beyond human comprehension. It's beyond the scale of what you're actually, you're being processed into trauma sometimes,
mm,
uh, without your consent. Because a lot of people go, no, I don't want this, and that's when they panic, rather than understanding
mm,
the middle part of what one experiences through that can always be the way of understanding it itself. But I get really torn apart from both ends, the human part and the centering part. And part of me wants to say, I just want to be human. I just want to live a normal life with a family and and all these things, so I can not call into something that creates more trauma or creates more distractions
mm,
and
mm,
doesn't doesn't make me connect in a way with
mm,
people, and detaches me from them just from the very slightest mention of the names.
mm. That's powerful. Wow. That's quite a journey. Thank you. Um, who would like to try reflecting Theo back? Hmm.
I don't know if we're qualified.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
I'll admit with the attempt at obfuscation and then the general way of speaking, I lost the
Lost the
thread
thread.
there a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah.
I still appreciate that though, saying maybe we're not qualified. That's still an answer, right?
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
and also in a way, like kind of hinting that I'd love to hear a respond to it.
Like, come on, hey, you take that one. I mean, you all heard, I had some enjoyment of watching Theo practice that. You got really close to not naming substance there. And I'm proud of you for really trying because it helps actually. And your actual question that you're asking here is, when does the bridge become the barrier? And when is this taking me away from my humanity so that while I may feel like I'm growing connection, I'm actually growing disconnection? And what have I been missing about what I thought was good for me? And how do I do this differently? And and that kind of soul searching to say, this felt so true. This felt so right. This felt like such relief. I found my curiosity through this thing. And now I wonder if it's become a barrier and it's become dissonance and it's become something different in my life than I thought it would be. And so I'm looking for me in all this again and seeing where my feet are and how I can land and be present. And there was a key word in what you said. Is it possible that what's happening feels like it's turning things into curiosity, but it's really me just deeply absorbing people's trauma? And that creates a flow too. But ultimately, on the other side of that, am I more ragged and undone? So that's what I heard. Did I get that?
There's a lot of like fear too. It's like, uh, is this the right thing sometimes, or
Yeah.
is this just because sometimes I've always thought maybe it's not been an escape, and I've been realizing from my experiences, I realized so many of the things that I was doing, like video games, I never thought video games were an escape. They were a part of my life. I always enjoy the space it brings me, and I can learn from it. But then I realized so much of that is the escape on the life that's right in front of us. And that was what it taught me. But then it's like you said, there's the fear of disconnecting. There's the fear of enabling to others' traumas. It's bringing an awareness that until the moment is given away, it's going to tear off.
Ooh, there's a lot of depth in that. And leaning into that place, hopefully, and this is what I hear, at least in your voice, with a kind of grounded curiosity of just saying, what else is here that I was never looking at? The cost of what I'm doing and what I thought I was getting from it. That question can be applied to like going to the grocery store. Like it can be applied to everything. But specifically when habits start to form, especially if the goal was not, I'm going to build a habit around this thing, it's a really important question. Kind of like if anybody here has ever gardened, sometimes just sticking your fingers in the roots of the plants and seeing how they're doing in there. Sometimes they might not be flourishing because they got very tangled at some point and they need to be pulled out and kind of loosened a bit and put somewhere else where they can grow different. But if we don't question it, it just grows and takes over. So thank you for doing the delicate and hopefully gentle work of looking underneath and being curious. This isn't about shame or blame, even though a lot of those feelings can erupt when it's not framed as just fun and games. This is about finding the self that maybe arrived along the way that we didn't have the presence to greet and say, I'm okay. I'm okay right now. And I can know that from my nose to my toes and from my heart. And in the next moment, I'm probably not going to be okay again. But right now, yeah, I'm here. And that arrival, when it gets further and further away, there's a deep sadness that can grow in our bones. Like we stop looking out the window to see ourselves coming home. We miss ourselves, but we don't know when we lost ourselves to begin with. And substance use doesn't even just mean something put through our bodies, it can mean what we're wearing on our heads. It can mean looking away when somebody tries to connect. It can mean anything that we use and don't say, I choose this thing I'm doing around you, with you, despite you. We can't negotiate that if we don't acknowledge the willpower we have to move closer and move farther apart. But many times, the homes we grow up in, I don't know about you, but I grew up with siblings sleeping in the same room most of the time. We can't move apart from the pressures that are there. And so we use other ways to get away from our bodies and just try to feel like there's something that makes sense, how the world maybe it works, how it can be true. So I hold a lot of awareness that what I'm challenging you to do around substance use sometimes can feel shaming and blaming and guilt tripping and ick. And I'm sorry for that if that's what you perceive from me. And I don't know who else in your life is ever going to kindly, gently tug and nudge you to try to be sober for a few hours per week. And what sober means to you, I don't know. But what you're exploring here, Theo, is so much what I believe is the awkward, sticky, icky part of healing work that needs the love that couldn't be given at the time those feelings started to emerge. They don't go away, they just tuck in and store in our bodies. They store in the things around us that grow dust and don't have matter or meaning to us anymore. And to process that and bring life back to our life, our bodies, our space, means saying hello to that thing, whether it's our human being or an object in our space that we know we don't feel anything for, but we just can't let it go. That's a port key. That's storing a memory. That's something that needs to be held and loved and curiosity to be brought there. And then something else might emerge. But we put our spirit in so many places. And there's a moment sometimes when people spend enough time around me where they decide to go away. But sometimes they will whisper in my ear before they leave, I'm going on a walkabout to find me. Thank you for believing I'll come back. And that is the most sacred path. But in the meantime, I'm glad you're here and telling the truth. And thank you for letting me reflect you back. Who would like to name their pain point next?
I'll go.
Okay, Carl.
And I've been thinking kind of how to formulate this because I will say I thought Theo was going to go in this direction when asking for permission, but and I'm not going to kind of, it's not like I'm directly affected or anything, but with the big event in the news this week.
Mm.
It's not often you have pretty much an assassination, but I, for people often come to me for just kind of like, oh, what's going on with this thing? And kind of will accept my explanations, um, and me be their source of information to a degree because they just don't really follow things elsewise. But kind of uniquely with this, I mean, my wife, my kids, people at work,
Mm.
my family, like people in
Mm.
my communities I help with online, like it's come up pretty much everywhere in the,
Mm.
last 48 hours. It's been barely, not
Wow.
even that, I think.
Mm.
But, and with a lot of things, I've kind of felt kind of the responsibility to be the voice of reason,
Mm.
to a
Mm.
degree.
Mm.
So, I mean, I've kind of talked with it people from, I think, a variety of angles where at work somebody was upset that people were like joking and making light and kind of being like, well, you gotta recognize when there's some dramatic irony to something that people are gonna feel compelled to point it out. And even on the flip side with family, got uh, brother-in-law dropping comments like freedom of speech has died or something like that, and I'm like, well, I think just kind of shows, or I think it said illustrates that freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. Um, so
Mm.
kind of being a mediator while still trying to show my position in the whole thing, and just trying to navigate that has definitely been my pain point recently.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Thank you. That's very real. Who would like to reflect Carl back? Hmm. Theo. Okay.
I could tell as you spoke about that, there's a lot of like weight and exhaustion.
Mm.
And I also heard 48 hours. I mean, gosh, just like
Well,
every
I just
single
mean
time.
since
Yeah.
the assassination happened, like within that time, pretty much every one of my circles it's come up as a subject.
But basically,
Mm.
even outside of online communities too, you talked about your family, you talked about your children, you talked about your coworkers.
Yeah,
Like really, like I mean, such such a grueling experience that happened in the news, and there's just a bit of chaos or a bit of anxiety in everyone's moments with one another, and they're looking onto you, and you know
So
I
that was
think
really, really good right there. I'm going to pause you because you're
right,
practicing this, but
yeah,
this is where you can offer the question.
yeah, I was gonna get to that because I thought I was gonna go to more.
Mm.
Um, did a lot of what I said landed there? The exhaustion.
yeah. I mean, especially like you hit on the anxiety of it. I think it's kind of like I feel like I'm walking a tightrope a little bit all
Mm.
the time.
Mm,
That,
Yeah.
but to a degree, like it kind of in the beginning, as you said, people looking to me.
Mm.
It's I've been up here for a while, but it's just it's like you think you're gonna come down from the tightrope after a while and get to put the big bar down or whatever, but it just keeps stretching out.
Mm.
Things just
Wow.
keep getting
wow,
more tense.
wow.
Hmm. Thank you, Carl.
Mhm.
That
Good.
analogy too was so beautiful.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And painful for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Okay.
to hear that, girl.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of compassion coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's kind of the way you reacted. Was there a question from no one, or they're a little quiet still for me?
No one is just saying, "I'm sorry to hear that." I mean, it's
Okay,
affecting
yeah.
people to imagine and hear the stress in your voice. Like it feels like you're trying to exhale right now for the first time in maybe 2 days. And just like, ah, this is tiring. And so I want that for you. I want that growl and that let your shoulders slump, let your head fall. Just be like, ugh, I'm tired. This is hard
I'm
to
pretty tired
navigate.
too. I've been up
Yeah.
all
Oh,
day. And
oh,
that's like being up all night for me, but
yeah. The
it's weird.
reverse. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Carl. Who else would like to share their pain point? All right, Axel. And then we'll go for Finder. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have recently had no motivation whatsoever. I mean, it's like my pain point because I know I have so many deadlines coming up, and like I feel very involved and love what I do. But like this no motivation to me is like kind of hitting me a bit harder than I expected it to. And I'm trying to practice like the holding space within myself for this. But I don't know, there's just something about it that's like kind of hindering that for me at this moment in time.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Axel. Who would like to reflect Axel back? I think Jay and Carl, have you tried yet? Okay. Carl will.
I haven't gone.
Right.
And I mean I've definitely felt that lack of motivation for something, like it's like you want to do it but you don't feel like doing it, and like kind of searching for that reason of like what's the holdup, what's holding me back, and then just that kind of grasping out, trying to look for that thread. It's just you can start to get real frustrated with yourself, even like you said, you're practicing techniques and trying to be mindful about it, so that can kind of lead you down some dark places in your head, I know.
Okay.
That landing for you, does it feel that I missed anything?
No, I think that's pretty much the gist of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I'll say here, Axel, because we aren't here to fix, but as a fellow survivor of grad school, if you would like to reach out to me and get Heyu's 10 tips to survive your life, I might even have it in a handout somewhere, but people sometimes find that useful. So there's definitely a lot of drowning moments in that journey. And grad school is a chosen chronic illness. So just remember that. Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes look at what suffering happens in grad school and I'm just like, this system was not designed for humans. And it dehumanizes the most sincere and willful hearts. And just how sad that we go to school and then we hate reading ever since, right? Like just the shit that happens to our souls and our sense of like being able to acquire knowledge, how burned we get inside, and then think it's something really wrong with us. I must not really want this because I'm not a machine of creativity 24/7 on command. I just want to like shake that off.
I need to add an emote where someone throws up
Yeah.
too.
Do we have vomit emotes? Because it's just so
I thought there
blah.
was.
Good
There's
question.
definitely this one. And
I was actively searching for like a 100.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I sing grad school speak, I get a little horde of grad students running behind me and being like, say more, say more. This is like spoken word for our ragged, lost selves. So yeah, it's tough. But yeah, reach out if you need to. I'll give you some pieces that seem to help more people survive it. Okay, Profinder, your turn. Tell us, what is your ache?
Okay. All right. So, it's kind of figuring out how this works from what everyone else said,
You're
but
doing great.
um, thanks. So I would say I have a pain point where I'm struggling to take action over the things that I would like to do, but are difficult. And something that I would intellectually understand is I should be doing this, or like I have a lot of creative projects that I'm trying to work on. I like to work on avatars, and like I have a project that I agreed to do with a bunch of friends. We have this thing where for this month we're trying to work on a creative project where we post every day just to post any progress. And I've already missed a couple days this month actually. And it feels like there's been a lot of things kind of coming through my life right now. Uh, some less more reasonable than each other, but it feels like I'm kind of pulled from different directions, like addictions or just wanting to do something else entirely. And it's like taking those action steps, as much as I understand mentally what I have to do, I sit in front of my computer and I just can't. And I'll play video games instead. So that's like one thing I'm going through right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Felt that.
Who would like to reflect Profinder back? All right. The rainbows have
Yes.
spoken. Go, Jay.
Okay. Well, so what I understand is that you have several. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, dropping a bunch of stuff. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so you have several projects and several commitments that you've agreed to do. However, you've agreed to so many that you start to just like do a work, just overload yourself with work, and it's lost some of its luster, and and you're really struggling to even work up the motivation to even do one of those things. Is that does that did I summarize that correctly? Did I leave anything out?
Yeah, yeah. More or less that it's making progress on one big project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. And I just realized when you said you're an avatar creator, weird coincidence. I have that avatar. And when I found that avatar in
This one?
Prismatic,
No
yeah,
way.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoever this person is, someday I have to meet them. Yes. And it is in my library still. And that was a long time ago. So what a moment
Oh,
for your
that's really
for your
interesting.
procrastination. Here is a fan going, ooh, wow, hello.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny. I've always wondered. This is one of my very few public avatars.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone else have it. I was like,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
in my library. I was pointing at it and it said, "Do you want to unfavorite this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I still do have it." Yeah, it's so wild. Huh.
Wow, that's so
Wow.
crazy.
What a small little metaverse we're all in. Um, yeah. Well, thank you everybody that are practicing this messy task of listening deeply and trying to give each other back. it's tough and really beautiful work tonight in just trying to hear each other a little bit clearer. Um, I'm trying to see if I've got anything. I feel a little restless, wanting to leap around and look at
I
these.
have a world we can look at if that's okay.
Sure, yeah. I was giving myself a moment to see if I had a pain point, but sure,
Oh,
in a moment.
I
I'm
also
so
haven't
sorry.
shared
Yeah.
mine yet.
Ah, thank you.
Oh,
Exactly. We're not ready yet.
Oh,
I think
I'm
the
sorry.
centipede in the
Congrats.
Yeah.
mouth was
It's okay.
part of my just like you have shared the whole time. But yeah, let's have you go next, knowing cold. What is yours?
This speaks.
Mm-hmm. It
This
does.
speaks.
That's right. At least the centipede is not
Pain
having a great day.
points. Well, it's not very tasty. Uh,
You both disagree. I gotcha. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
I just noticed
well,
that.
yeah, a couple of pain points, but there is one that's been burning on my mind
Mm.
since the day that it happened.
Mm.
And I talked about you. I talked
Yeah.
with you about it as it was
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
But a fellow community leader, a host, recently got canceled.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm.
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
Mm.
And it's like this. Um, it seems from what I can tell, their decisions came back to bite them
Mm.
straight in the ass pretty
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah.
VRChat, life is just a
Mm.
messy place. You get
Mm.
involved with a lot of people.
Mm.
They were close with a certain person, intimate enough that they shared some interesting things with each other
Mm.
through trust. And when things didn't work out,
Mm.
it's they broke up.
Snowballed. Mm-hmm.
It was a very sour breakup, apparently. This person came back and exposed them for some pretty nasty things. And my experiences with this person, they've always been a pretty, very sweet individual, just trying to find their bearings like anyone else. And it really breaks my heart to have
Mm.
this be their legacy,
Mm.
to see them disappear, unfriend everybody, get
Mm.
banished from every community, and now be regarded as somebody that is malicious.
Mm.
I still feel strange about it. To others, it's black and white, but
Mm.
I knew this person well enough that I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for naming that. Writing it down is one layer when we're twisted inside, when our morals and our roles as leaders like they conflict and they struggle and they get tangled. But there is a power to speaking it and having witness when time seems to have just moved on like a snap your fingers and we're just beyond. And and yet a part of you maybe feels very left behind here along with the casualty of this whole thing and the confusion of how do we do that? How do we cancel leaders who serve us in an hour or less? Just blink it out. Um, I also share
Mm.
being affected by watching that and just recognizing that there is still so much work to do in how we discern the difference between real risk and social urgency, and that that is not a differentiation in the culture within this space. And and we become very fast at eliminating what's uncomfortable, even if it includes a human who has done a lot of service. We don't have the tools. We've never been taught the tools in our family systems, in our schools, and definitely not in here on how to go have some uncomfortable conversations and figure out what repair could look like and listen deeper to the ick of what happened, but stay with it and recognize that there's context here we do not understand. And so we just erase, we eliminate, we target, we viral the hate. And we murder the identity and the belonging so fast. How do we do that so fast? I I hear you, and I am also still very affected by watching that, and I'm grateful that you didn't stay alone with that. I think that swallowing, witnessing that kind of thing can turn us into black holes inside
Mm-hmm.
because we orient our feelings of belonging by the people we spend time with. We have commonality and service. And when everybody flips like that, all the feelings don't make sense anymore. All the trust, all the warmth, all the like, yeah, this is building. We're together. It just feels like a lie. At best. At worst, it feels like a trap. And I say that all with sincerity, but not with the agony that I brought to my counsel, cascading, counsel seeking journey, that I was vicariously very affected by what happened this week. And I threw my hands up at a whole other level and was like, what am I doing? How am I involved here? And is my compassion preventing me from bringing some fire and some boundaries and some calling for being decent human beings and getting our headsets off and getting on camera if necessary and facing each other and saying, what the fuck, but we're not leaving until we work this through differently. Because oof, when we make decisions out of social urgency like that, we are mimicking mob, and mob, we suffer from the mob in our hearts for the rest of our lives when we burn people like this. We will never sleep the same. It is that kind of inner burn that maybe we'll say it's a different pain. I just have indigestion, or it's all the other people I never spoke up because they were doing harmful things. So this was my moment to be righteous, to be right, to be certain, to do the good thing, to protect the community. But it is a different thing when it is somebody who has invested service in this vacuum to eliminate them with no conversation and no listening and no waiting to see what is true. So thank you for naming it. And I'm reflecting you back and I'm adding to this because I stand with you here. I honestly, I know that whatever evidence was seen or whatever was very revolting and disquieting. And I hear that, especially in this space where we're already disembodied, that can be insanely triggering. Because why did we leave our bodies in the first place? What kind of traumas are behind all these beings? So this can just feel like absolutely black or white, no. But there are human beings that we are throwing away like a sticker we thought we wanted to wear and now feels like it carries disease, and they're not stickers and they're not avatars. And I don't know the answer here, but I know that that speed is not the sign of wisdom. That is the sign of burnout. and everybody suffers from those kinds of decisions. So
Yeah.
I reflected that back very rigorously, and I want to know, did you feel heard or flooded by my own rant? Because I accept both.
I felt mostly heard, mildly flooded, but mostly
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging the flood. Yeah, I'm definitely still very activated by that. Yeah.
And before we move on to your bit, I think I'm gonna excuse myself because I've had a bit of a headache, and wearing the headset is not helping.
Good.
My left eye's pulsing a little bit.
Oh, yep. You don't want swollen brain Carl,
Ice
even though
You
looks
have a
like
nice one, Carl.
good night,
Take it
Carl.
easy,
Thanks for
Carl.
letting us know. Yeah, good night.
You'll enjoy the rest of the event. See you.
You enjoy the rest of your day.
Rest well too.
Yeah, so, I think my pain point will just be an echo of that and a recognition that the way that I held on to myself was going and researching a document of beheading a king that happened in the 1600s. And I weirdly had found that playing a VR game, the three-dimensional puzzles, and I had put 1,000 pieces together of this tower in England, and I found this document in the middle of this jewel tower. I didn't even know it was a document. It was blurry and it had all these red dots on it. And I was so curious, I went and watched a tour of the tower on YouTube. Somebody just took a GoPro and walked through. And then I looked it up. And this was probably 3 months ago. But I was like, whoa, in the place they stored their most treasured treasures, the place that would not burn down, they put a document where they canceled a king and canceled with a beheading and a humiliating beheading at that. And
Mm-hmm.
the bridge that I learned this week, because I looked deeper into it, because I just was searching for some meaning of where did this whole thing start, is this was the transition from the deity imbuing the power through lineage of blood to a parliamentary voting process. And he was the last king in England that had been grown up being told, you are the embodiment of God. And then he made his decisions as if he was God. And everybody just said, nope, we're going to vote from now on. And we vote you out, off with his head. And he went to his trial and did not say a word. He said, this is sacrilegious. This is wrong. I will not participate in such an absurd thing. And therefore they didn't just take his head, but they humiliated him as much as they could in the process. But my appreciation of that, considering what happened this week, they all had wax seals with their rings still visible in that wax. And I just thought that process of signing that doc took longer than the hour it took to cancel this person. We all need to get rings and wax and slow the fuck down. Like, holy shit. Like, what do we need? We need a little cancel kit. And just like, you got to pull all the pens out and write your name in all different colors. I don't fucking care, but slow down. Slow down and pause. Pause, breathe, breathe. That's all I was praying during that hour. And I don't pray, but I was just like, holy shit, this is fast. I thought it would be slower for a leader. And what I appreciate about that story is that that man's son came back to London after being away and was like, what the fuck, y'all? Off with all your heads. And everybody else hunt them down. And everybody that didn't get caught lived in exile the rest of their life, living with their decision. So those things flip. And in this case, it really did. And also, voting's cool. We like voting, right? But that was wrong. And how could it have happened? How could it have happened in a way that honored the changing time without crucifying and beheading and harming the one who had been trained his entire life to do the thing he did. And it's not the same metaphor exactly of what this person is accused and has some involvement in, very likely, but it's just the realization that, like, this is why we pause and talk about pain points and we don't fix it. This is why. This what we're doing right now. This is the habit to build. It changes everything. Because then if we do decide to cut somebody, we bear the guilt together and we try again differently next time. We learn through it. We slow down even more because we know how much it hurt to carry that all this time. This is why. So I wish you and your communities, if you want to reflect anything back to me, the practice of pausing, of listening to each other's voices, of hearing the controversy, of hearing the disagreement, and taking the space to say, is this a fire that is going to hurt me because I don't want to get canceled? Or is this a fire where somebody is genuinely instantly vulnerable right now and we have to put barriers up because somebody's getting hurt right now? And many times when we're in communities that are 24/7 and don't have a end of business day for us to all rest and chill out and forget about it for a little bit and come back to the problem later on, when we don't have those rhythms that we share together, we are always in a nervous system response of, uh-oh, what's going to come after me? Uh-oh, what am I supposed to be doing? We don't know how to pause. We don't know how to ritual. And then we make decisions that collectively feel like, oh, yeah, okay, we did good. But that ache that comes after that, ooh, that ache gets in the chest. That's tough. So, it comforted me to see that cancel culture has been going on for several hundred years. And technically, and much before that, right? That this was just a moment where people were proud of it. And they're like, Jules, beheading, let's put them together. I mean, somebody was proud, right? We voted. This is our first vote. Off with the Z, right? We did our goal. But yeah, I want to invite us to commit on whatever level we can, as much as it's true. The next time I feel sure, I'm going to take a deep breath and walk away from it. And I'm going to ask everyone to do the same thing. And it's going to make it more messy when we come back. But I'm going to be there for that. And I'm going to try again. That would be my invitation. And thank you for hearing my rant. You have a leader of leaders who hears all the shit from all the leaders about the other leaders, and then this happens. I feel very impotent and pointless. Yeah. I know. Thank you for the rainbows. Okay. Does anybody have any words to reflect back? Because I just poured out a lot there. Just 30 seconds or an emoji or words or a question just to offer and get it out if you're holding it and you need to just let go what you heard. And then we will go on a little world hop to Theo's world. Or you just want to let that all wash around you, and you got something, Theo?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, just what an interesting story, but also something I feel very strongly with, like, the whole point of the sitting and slowing down part, but also because I have a different question when I confront something like that. I think, am I conscious? Is like the breathing of our consciousness, like sharing into the space of our words, like, are we conscious of everything that we're doing, and a lot of times there's a layer of unawareness that our actions have no way of knowing what we're doing here is part of us, part of our. It's there's like a what you said about the emotional part. People become that emotion and they identify with it. This is me. I'm going to be this emotion now, stomping around. So many times we lose the fact that, wait a minute, would I is this part of me that's emotional really what others deserve?
Yeah.
Am
Yeah.
I really choosing to become this this frequency of emotions? Because I tend to feel like and see it's like when we become the things that we are ignorant or destructive about, we become the part of the wave that the system of emotions and thoughts resonate to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to extend compassion to the people who made these hard decisions. Another weird fun fact: the hired beheader of the town, because that's a thing back then. You had a full-time career as a beheader. He refused, and they had to hire somebody who agreed to only with a mask on. So there was clear guilt and concern and a lot of arranging and pushing to get this done with people that said, something's really off. I do not want to be in the history books about doing these things. And what a awkward transition. And in here, where we are so affected by the beauty of these worlds and these spaces and these connections, it can turn inverse very deeply, especially when we see a mirror of ourselves in somebody else that we trusted more and we held to a higher standard. And it can just feel like the only thing to do in the gut of our beings is just push this person as far away from us as we can. So I want to hold that, that couldn't have been an easy process. And the speed of it tells me how much pain to some degree everybody was in. But I just hope that that pain is getting processed somewhere, because otherwise the next time it's going to be even quicker. So yeah, thank you, Theo. Any other pieces that stood out that you want to get out so you're not carrying with you? Because again, that's what you saw come through me I've been writing about and boiling about and venting about for the whole week. Just been like, okay, I got to question everything. All right, known cold.
I wanted to, if that's okay, I want to revisit something someone said earlier. That cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, Axel,
Mm.
do you feel like what you're experiencing is burnout?
Interesting.
That's a very good question. I, in my mind, don't think I am at that point because I have been in a position where I have been burnt out.
Wow.
And this doesn't feel like that, if that makes sense.
Heard.
Yeah. Okay. And heads up, speaking of escape, I don't know if you. Oh no, is my headset dying?
Escaping from reality.
So somebody named Escape Artist just joined, which is a really interesting synchronicity of sorts. Who I haven't seen for a long time. So
yeah,
I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm okay if either way. If you want to stay or you need to go, we will welcome Escape and hold and be fine. And how beautiful that some version of
catch a
Escape.
bathroom
Yeah.
break if that's okay. Thank
Take
you.
care of you. Absolutely. Yeah. What an ironic moment. Thank you, Theo. grabbing Escape. It's been so long. Hello, Escape.
Hello. It
Wow.
has been. It's
Like,
been a few months.
probably, no, I would say 6 to 9. It's been a while. That's a new avatar for you. Lovely.
It sure.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
how's it been?
We are wrapping up our 2 hour group. It's been
Oh,
intense. I know you came at the tail end. And yeah, you were on my mind the other day because Escape took us to hell and showed us what he loved about hell. And I appreciated
I
that. I've never
remember.
forgotten that moment. We sat in the hot tub of the lava surrounding hell and marveled on what hell meant to all of us. So you're less on
Hell yeah.
fire today, apparently, but still the spikes.
You know, that fire's still brewing to
It's
this
in
day.
there.
So I know
I
it never
believe
went
it.
out. It's
Swirling
still there.
around. Yeah. So, yeah, we were just finishing our reflective listening. And Theo, is the world we're going to go to for you a world that has space for us to check out and do our closing circle? Because we're right at the edge of
Oh
our
yeah.
time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
Definitely.
we're going to drop a portal. Go ahead and
We may
Theo.
even get lost too.
Before we jump through that portal, though, let's answer the question for this world. How does this world make or break community? So one of the observations we
interesting.
had coming in was most of the places in this world weren't good places to sit, and so we had to find this spot, but it was kind of awkward to be trying to meet leaning on the side of the hill. So that doesn't necessarily make for a good community meeting spot or a circle at least. So that's kind of a don't know if they thought that through. Yeah. What about you, Finder?
Yeah. One thing I noticed is that every time you rotate your head, all the
Yes.
billboard of the
Oh,
flowers are
yes.
constantly
That's
doing
tough.
this thing,
They
and it's
dance with
like
your
it
head.
drives me crazy. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's just a straight nauseating effect that
It
I would
makes,
say is probably unintentional.
yeah. And it also
From the
makes us less wanting to nod our heads. It puts us into a frozen state in our
yeah.
bodies, right? And that's not good. That doesn't make us connect to be like, I hear you. I feel so much about what you're saying. Frozen completely. So, yeah, that is tough. And I've never seen that effect before, but thank you for enduring through this, considering that. I was a little worried before you came in that this might be really too much. Yeah.
It was
Any
a little
other?
fun, but it's like
Yeah, it's fun to walk through maybe and then get somewhere else. Not necessarily fun to sit through a 2 hour deep processing group around.
If they weren't naturally also moving, it would be even worse.
It could.
So
You're right. That's true. It would be more disorienting, like you're on a weird ship or have frame rate issues. Any other thoughts?
Well, I thought the music was going to keep playing, but I guess it stopped when I turned it
There's
back
music?
on. So, and usually, like,
I didn't
music
hear
on
it.
a world, yeah, usually can throw, like, I turned it off because I was like, oh, lo-fi? I mean, I'd like to hear some birds chirping, you know, and all
There's
that.
no sound. Yeah. So
No
they ran
wind.
out of their sound. Or no wind, right?
Ambience.
I will say that the landscape is one of the best I've seen for kind of relaxing the eyes and allowing us to kind of travel almost Super Mario style along the landscape and let our eyes kind of relax and dance. So my favorite part about the world is the part that we never got far enough to see if you could actually be on that landscape where it's just a skybox. I don't know.
Yeah, or if
Curious.
there's a river or something.
Yeah, yeah. So that's our answers. We're gonna go to the next world
I
now, and
had
then
one more comment.
one more. Okay,
But
yes.
it was just, I know, kind of opposite to what you just said. I almost find it distracting that it's the exact same tree copy pasted over and over
Oh,
with
right.
just minor rotations.
Yeah, yeah,
And as an asset creator,
yeah,
I'm almost like frustrated how little creativity there is
yeah.
in the world.
The
It's
lack of
one
variety.
landscape,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
asset,
I can see
one
that.
tree.
Thank you for that.
But
That is
yeah.
that does create kind of a pain in the eye at the same time with the variety of the hills, because the eye is going, I just saw that. It's like burning in my eyes. So yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Okay, well, thank you to the world creator regardless. This was a meaningful and painful and important time. And we're going to hop just to refresh ourselves to one more world, and then we're going to do a very brief acknowledgement of everybody here. So go ahead and drop that portal, Theo, and we will
Is
close that.
group instance fine?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I mean, just friends plus is fine because we're going to end there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Curious what this world is.
Scale journey.
Yeah,
Oh, I've been here. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've already been here. Okay.
Yeah. I use this to
Awesome.
teach
I
about
think this
VR.
is a PC only world.
Oh no, we can't go through.
Oh.
Okay. Will you
my bad.
follow them and ask them to? I'm going to start a different instance so we can check out.
Thanks for looking out, dog.
Yeah, thanks for catching that. Well done. So go
Check,
ahead and go with them and tell them I'm going to move us to a different world to say goodbye.
Okay.
I feel like the wheelchair kid in these situations where it's like,
oh, I can't climb those stairs. That's right. Good catch. Good catch. Okay. All right. Let's do this one.
All right, now I got you, bro. Yeah. Go on.
Well, actually, hold on. Don't do this one.
No, I can push myself.
Now I just realized I have to do a new instance that's group plus because I'm not friended to some of the people that just went. So I need to create a different portal. All right. This is the real portal. It's misty and quiet. All right. Hopefully this doesn't kill frame rates. Is this okay? Woo. I'm having a little frame issues. How is this for your headset?
It's working really well.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's very bland and dark and quiet, but you can still look at this and say, what kind of community would want to meet here? What kind of community would be like, this is my spot?
Someone who's very shady.
Someone who would also be considered very bland, dark, and quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe people who don't like the sun, and this feels calming and.
Oh, I also don't like the sun. This would probably be my kind of spot.
Yeah. And maybe
I was going to say it holds like an air of like mystery.
Yeah, exactly. It's an invitational landscape of like, I don't know what I'm walking on. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm still going to explore.
Yes.
So there's some charm to that. We're going to make sure. Oh, Theo's requesting to join. ProFinder just requested to join. So should be everyone. There's ProFinder.
Whoa.
Yeah. Actually,
this might be mysterious monolith.
Yeah, this might be a ProFinder world. We were like, who is this good for? What kind of creature would say, I'm home?
Yeah, it feels pretty cozy, I'd say.
Like cozy. There you go. Look at that.
There it is.
Lovely.
This is a spot especially for you.
Did we lose Jay? Is Jay still? Yeah.
Theo, I think he needs an invite.
Theo got an invite, but I don't know. Maybe when Theo comes, Theo will invite Jay.
That world he was linking is really cool, though. I only saw like a tiny bit of it, but
that other world is fantastic. If you haven't been to it and you have a PC or can link, it's totally worth going. But yep,
Highly
we
recommend
didn't do a quest check.
visiting it.
So
One of these
let's
ways, donate to my fundraiser to get a PC. No, I'm joking.
yay! Yes, that too.
Laptop could work.
Laptop could,
Gaming
yeah.
laptop.
It's
Mhm,
iffy. I've tried that once, and my laptop told me it would divorce me if I ever did that again. So I promised
Well,
I
if you
shall
have a
not.
$2,000
Yeah, it has to be a
Oh,
gaming
God.
laptop, which at that point it's like,
No,
why
yeah.
don't I just have a desktop? Um,
True.
you know, this really makes your avatar belong. It's
Mm.
interesting how it gives it a home, like this is your
Mhm.
avatar's landscape.
Yeah, we need some NPCs hanging just at the edge
Yeah,
of the
the
horizon, so you
peripheral,
can't fully see them.
different
We'll have this
designs.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. And you're just like one
We'll
of the
just stand there and
stewards.
wait.
That's right. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for someone to ask for
Mm-hmm.
help.
Yeah. So, you know, for the last few weeks, for those of you who have been here, we've actually had some deeper, kind of harder stuff that have not allowed us to go to as many worlds. Thank you for your patience around that. And sometimes when we're in it together, it just feels weird to push us through that faster and just, you know, make space. You can always world hop afterwards and ask that question. So there's Theo. You made it.
Yay.
Hey, Theo. Did we
Science
lose
fair.
Jay?
Yeah, I'm trying to invite him too.
Okay. Yeah. So if you
That
want
was
to
beautiful.
take just a minute to two to run around and see if you see something, come back in about a minute and then we'll do our closing checkout. But ask yourselves a question. Who is this good for? Who does this harm? Because it does have some interesting mysteries I haven't solved completely. I did run around in here for about, I don't know, half hour. Definitely it's a maze of space instead of a maze of direction. That is a have you been here, Escape? Or definitely not Axel.
No, sir. No, I've not.
Yeah.
Never been in a place like this.
Fro Fitter's avatar looks like a happy cat in this place. It's really interesting. But that avatar actually does kind of well here too, no one. As far as aesthetically, your hearts look like they were built from the ground. And
Centipede.
and the centipede, yeah, feels like that's the resident creature that will just fly over us in the air. There's there's a belonging to your
sand
avatar too.
centipedes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they seem so segmented.
And then we have Theo, you,
Mm.
hey you, Axel, and Escape. You guys look like residents that got lost. Maybe there was a plane crash.
we
I
plane
don't know what the
crashed.
fuck I am.
We plane
I did not
crashed
mean to come
on
here.
from our colorful planet onto this one, and we're all kind of like, "Is this found or lost? I don't know who I am."
I was on the tornado of tails. And then Eggman shot his big fat egg at my at the tornado. And then it crash landed here.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's like Lost, but on a different planet.
Yeah, exactly. We're
So
like,
it's a lost planet.
oh,
Yours doesn't
nice.
even look like Earth.
Yeah,
Billion.
yeah. I know when I
Oh,
came here, it felt much more. Ooh, got a newbie here. Hey, Wallflower. Wallflower.
Hey, Escape, wanna follow me?
It's a cute name.
Okay.
Hey, hold on.
Hello,
Sorry,
hello.
Hey, what's up?
Take your time.
Okay.
But there you go.
So, Wallflower, you're
Yeah,
welcome to
look
hang
around,
with us.
see
I don't know if
what
you've ever joined on us before, but we're just going to do a checkout. So, I'm going to bring us all over here. And then we will. I think I have Carl's avatar that tells people to respawn, but I have to look for it. Wallflower, who did you join on? I'm so curious. Is Wallflower still here? I got my menu up in
I
front of
don't
me.
see them.
Oh, okay. They joined and left. Probably joined on escape, is my guess. Blast from the past or Theo is probably.
I think they're over. They're over.
Yeah.
Near behind like the pillar.
Gotcha. Yeah. People are all hiding behind the objects.
Wallflower might have joined off me.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we circle up with who is remaining? Good. I like that people are respawning. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I did trying to make sure no one gets lost too.
Okay.
I'll see where the rest of them are, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Very cool
No.
place.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
I found the one pillar that had writing on it, so it makes sense to what this world is about, and it's pretty fitting.
Yeah, I love it. I love that we got to bring you here. Your legs even stick in the sand like they are just perfect for this space. They kind of hover, but also land.
Yeah, something like that.
You found your elemental photo shoot spot.
I'm gonna add this to my favorites.
You also kind of look like I was saying earlier, like a cat in this world. You look very playful, and like this is your delightful landscape.
I do love a good fog that makes things feel bigger than it really is.
Ah, yeah,
and
the
it's fun
mystery.
to go further into it.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
see where it goes.
It's fun to hear your voice change in this space. We needed a little joy after all the intensity of the last world. That was a lot. So with those, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this event is really, really interesting. I think the way you described everything is really beautiful, and the way to not like avoid pain, but to go into it.
Yeah.
I think is like very, very important. I've heard that philosophy a lot, and
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with it. And I don't think it's being said enough.
Thank you. It's a paradox, and I want to just really honor that. We all have different nervous systems in here and absorb information differently. So what I said was not about judging the leaders who made those decisions. It was about recognizing that the cumulative effect of the dominoes of how those decisions get made can flip us very quickly from being like, I made my bet and I was right, to how do I sleep tonight? Because something's wrong.
I was even trying to experiment or try to go into the perspective of this person who probably was eliminated from the community and imagining what they might be feeling.
Yeah.
And it's very, very isolating to imagine
and not
making
just
some mistake.
Not just
like
one community, multiple communities in an hour.
Exactly.
After being a leader. And that is, you're exactly right. What that tells everybody in the community, including the leaders, is I am not safe here. And I cannot share the places I don't understand. And then, is it a community anymore, is the question.
Yeah, no, I think it's, I mean, I am a little familiar. I saw some of the
posts,
the messages to the communities.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I'll just say like I understand the nature of why it was sensitive and why they took swift action. And I think it's a shame that we don't have spaces for people that are going through this particular situation.
Yeah.
That this is something that requires, or it feels like it requires swift retribution to eliminate people who are doing something like this. And I think it is a shame that we like don't have resources to help people that might be experiencing or in being involved in this kind of content. So that was
Yeah.
something I was thinking about,
Yeah.
which is very
Yeah.
upsetting.
There's a documentary, I forget the name, but it was done, I think last year by a group who went around and interviewed people who were convicted sex offenders on what it was
Mm.
like to live with that judgment for the rest of their life, no matter how much recovery work they'd done, no matter how much they had amended, what it was like
Mhm.
to live as this person with this official conviction. And
Mhm.
lo and behold, what I heard at least is it was very hard to get people to watch this documentary. People just did not have interest in understanding that perspective.
Oh,
And
that's so upsetting.
the reality in this
I-
situation is we don't know that much about this. I don't, at least. I don't know that
Mhm.
this is an illegal, clearly illegal
Mhm.
issue that came up. A lot of what this looks like in these spaces is cartoon, anime, drawings, etc., that
Mhm.
yeah,
get taken to mean something much more serious than it is meant.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
my headphones are starting to die, so I'm gonna need to go. But I did want to, share my appreciation
Yeah.
for if I could
Mhm.
go ahead and do that for Theo for
Sure.
being so
Yeah.
transparent about
Oh,
your pay point. Yes, I
yeah.
really think that does help to when we share our personal things, our struggles. That
Beautiful. I
does,
didn't
I think,
smack my shin or something.
help
Howdy,
help
howdy.
one another to be more
I appreciate
open to about what it is we're going through, and
Mm,
I think that pain is, I think, what brings people closer together. Yes, but yes, thank you for meeting,
Mhm.
good day.
for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, and I'll
It
see
was nice
you.
meeting you.
I may or may not be able to come Sunday, but yes, I'm glad I was able to make it here. So, but yes,
Yeah.
have a good evening, first of you.
Have a good night, Jay.
Good night. Okay,
So Jay
bye.
just initiated us into the appreciation game, which is how we close out. And Theo caught the ball in his avatar that can't catch balls necessarily, but it's resting on his head. This is a ball of, it holds all the energy of this evening and what we learned together. And as we throw it to each other, we unwind it and we release it back, basically. And so, Theo, who do you want to throw the ball to tonight?
Right, and what better way? Throw it to someone who's not going to expect it, right? Who's going to expect it? So I'm
One of
going
the
to throw the
rules.
ball to
Two.
escape artist.
Woo!
I
Gotcha.
knew it. I was expecting it.
Aw, dang it!
He's
I
always
like.
expecting it.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, but when you joined by and hearing the words, I haven't seen you in a while, and I just was thinking about you. Like I thought, wow, what a great way to see someone who's hasn't been around and to reconnect that connection and being in the space to be with the kind of people you enjoy and catching up. Like I very much appreciate that presence of mind,
Mm.
and even though coming by a little later, but always having a good moment for who who you want to reconnect with.
Mm. Lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
really put a lot of effort in this because of cold here that I was like, you know what, let me go check this out again. It's been a while.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
now that I have this ball,
Mm-hmm. He's bouncing, bouncing. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I want to throw it to the one back there.
Yeah,
I
least
want to him
expecting
right
it.
away.
Wallflower. You got a little ball. Did you catch it or did it smush you? It's right there, like a little shrimp.
Little tiny
Little
flower
shrimp.
mantis.
Wallflower.
Well,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
appreciative of
Oh.
Wallflower joining in and trying out. It seems like something new
Oh.
joining off of Theo,
Mm,
and
yeah.
such an amazing avatar. Because I'll always appreciate someone who understands
no.
the greatness that is the color pink.
Aw, that's lovely. Thank you. And Wallflower, if you would like to participate, you can throw your ball to one of the people present. Do you want to acknowledge or offer gratitude to anybody here? What do we got?
DDR
Got a
Matt.
little Wallflower mat. That's cute. Okay.
The direction for where they're throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
may be a challenge because Wallflower is usually muted. So
Okay.
that's usually their role. They always.
Oh, but they're throwing it to Axel, maybe?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Axel.
Do you have an appreciation for Axel more than just throwing the ball? Do you have something to say or type?
No.
Okay.
Or maybe hearts or stickers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even better, a picture.
Picture. An
I
appreciation
like the
Axel
picture.
picture. Oh, what do we got?
It's so
The
tiny trying
painting?
to hold the
I
little
know, it's so big. What do we
flower.
got? You handing it to me? I don't
Does
see
it
it
say
printing.
something?
No. Does anybody see a
It's
print
a
here?
good drawing.
Yeah, it's his profile on his
Oh.
VR.
Oh, because I
Mhm.
wasn't viewing
Google.
user, maybe? There we go. Now I can see
You
it,
can view
maybe.
profile.
You see
It's
it?
a lovely piece of art.
Okay,
You're being
Axel.
saluted by a praying mantis.
Yeah. Can you see it, Axel? Because I can't, but
Yes, I can.
oh, that's your appreciation. You got a really beautiful praying mantis
Oh,
saying
cool.
that. Oh. So, Axel, who would you like to throw the ball to? Oh,
I
look at you.
would
Giving out
like
the hand.
to throw the ball to no one.
Whoa.
I can't
Nobody
throw the ball,
gets
it.
so you
Oh,
just have
nobody
to
gets
pretend
it.
like I threw it.
Looks
No
like
one
nobody's
calls.
getting the ball.
Look at that.
No
Like
one
a meme.
deserves the
But-
ball for sure.
but yeah, just hearing like and like the way that I interpreted of what you said, just it sounded like a situation that was like acquaintanceship that just went, instead of going through building continuation and actually having like a deterioration, just went straight into an ending. I feel like just that, yeah, I just feel I resonate with that. Like I understand the pain, the grief, all of that. So just how you're just holding it, but like it's just there in acknowledgement and just knowing that at some point in some way it's going to help you later on, and like all of us to just like grow in a more meaningful way. And if another situation happens to come up that feels somewhat similar, it will allow us to just like pause and take that moment.
You say holding your paws in the air. Yeah, that was lovely. Feels like Axel finished the reflection that I should have been doing, but I just vented off of your sharing. So thank you for catching that, Axel.
Good.
Yeah. All right, you got the ball, no one. The thinking sounds. Snacky.
Wow, snacky. I will give my ball to Theo. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, Theo, always loved your style. I like how you are usually rocking either this avatar or a really goofy, cartoony kind of character. That is a style that I respect a lot in this game. You don't see it everywhere.
Nice.
Well, you see it with kids, but
I got. Was there something you wanted to say?
Oh, did you not hear no one?
I did. No, I just surprised me. I got double appreciated there.
That happens sometimes. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
I
Mhm,
think they
mhm.
walked up after Jay left, so it's possible
Ah,
he
that's
did
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got the ball again.
Oh,
Your turn.
I got the
Mhm.
oh,
ball
you got the
again.
ball
Mhm.
again. Oh
Yay.
man. But yeah, no, oh no. So I love how some familiar faces here. I've seen you guys at a pair talk in the past, and I want to
Mm.
appreciate
Mhm.
both of you for coming and check
Aw.
us out. And I hope you had a good
Thanks.
time.
Oh
Aw.
yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. All right, Theo. It's down to Fro and Hey.
This is this is a really hard decision.
Go.
I don't know why. This is like so
Flip a coin.
difficult. I, I like this point, right? It's like I have
Mhm.
so much to give appreciations to the both of you. It's like, yeah,
Mm, cool.
um,
Okay. Gotcha.
I really appreciated. I have always appreciated your guidance. I've always appreciated the space. I know when sometimes things are left, things are kind of like out in the emptiness or the silence sometimes where things aren't being met or things aren't being heard. I felt like that kind of today. I didn't hear enough
Mm.
of what resonating into your pain point, but
Mm.
I'm always enjoying and uh, I I really resonated so much when you reflected onto me that and any moment you've ever reflected to me when it's very personal, I cry. Not in a
Mm.
way that is through sadness, but in a way that
Mm.
I know that I'm heard. And I know
Aw.
that I don't feel alone. Because I've
Aw.
had to tell people in my life that are very close to me and I know how much that hurts them, but I tell them that I feel alone
Mm.
and that I'm scared.
Aw.
But when I'm with you, with bridge
Mm.
makers and everything, I never have to feel like that.
Mm.
And that's how much you
Mm.
and this community means to me.
Aw. Thank you, Theo.
And I'll say that again 1,000 more times until
Mm. That's
until
lovely.
until we feel that together, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really beautiful way to put something that I think, you know, I oscillate between feeling like this, but as a pretzel, like imagine taking all the strands of fro and tying them up. And I roll
Mm-hmm.
in here like a ball of tangled metal sometimes. And Um, it takes me a while to stretch myself out and feel like a playful metal cat again, or a bell, or something else. But you definitely ring a bell that I cannot argue with and shocks me at times too. Um, there is a heart that persists, that sings a song through many of us that says, "Come back home and try again, and let's be better together." And I hear you trying to believe that you have that word, those words sometimes. Sometimes the one who makes space for everybody else feels the least made space for. So thank you for persisting and arm wrestling with me until I am all tangled up and Theo. Um, and whew, we breathe through it. All right. And yeah,
we we
that's
we laugh and we
and
cry
sometimes we
through it.
laugh. Yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to not see eye to eye but still find each other and try. It's so hard to do that when we're digital
Mhm.
and we don't see the shift physically, at least embodied. So,
Yeah.
thanks for coming back and trying again. And when you get pieces, I feel like I can walk away from all of life now. Theo got it. And now I'm done. Goodbye, everybody. Um, so then you give pieces and they're interesting. There's a lot of soul in what you share. And I get to appreciate Fro, which is, I already did, but Fro, you got an interesting brain happening through there. What you're doing with avatars, I haven't seen anybody else quite do. I think that you are reflecting a way that we build in our bodies that nobody wants to think of ourselves this way, but the way that you dance the story is more graceful than it is just a knot of rebalancing and tacking on new things. That could be how this avatar is described and what your creativity is. But I think you keep building grace into how it connects to its different parts. And that is a story in itself. And I'm honored to have you grace us. I mean, who knew? I want to remember who I was with when I discovered this, but I did. I found it in Prismatic, this avatar. And I
I
think
want to know who else has this favorited. That's
I
like
think
wild to me. I didn't think anyone actually liked it.
Oh yeah. No. There's actually an artist that this reminds me of that I'll connect you up to. I've met before and he's really world famous. He has these cards that are like these soul cards or whatever. An interesting character, but his art speaks volumes about the shadow of our souls and the guardians in between in the sky that just look at us and watch and don't necessarily move very much. And they're very metallic, have a lot of these pieces to them. So, I think it was that. But I appreciate somebody that in the freaking VR chat landscape does something original. That I mean, how do you do original in here? It's hard, right? Like, it's like original equals ordinary most of the time to some degree because everything's original. But this just had a different song to it. I almost want you to have an attachment where people can knock different parts of you and hear different tones.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Get a bunch of sound effects.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe some of the places they hit will turn translucent and there's something inside swimming there. Where there's a heartbeat.
I'd go above the quest limitations.
That's true. That's true. Some of those won't
be
work.
Really cool.
But this was I probably have ever said that when I've seen an avatar maybe 3 times max, and I've been in here for like feels like 100 years, but really like since first time in here was 2016 for so about 9. But this was on my bucket VR chat list. So well done. Hello. Thank you for making something unique. And you do you. I'm sure there are more than you realize. And you have an abstract buddy over here. Theo is
No, I like Theo's abs too.
all about the abstracts. So
yeah, we've attended talk group before, so that's how
it's like immediate friend.
There's a resonance.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, I like your avatar.
Just like, oh, you're from that dimension too.
Yeah, when I said I don't know who to throw the ball to, I thought,
yeah, it's tough.
But then I also thought, who would expect it less?
Yeah. I don't know. I know that I'm still riled up from the thing that we talked about earlier, so I wasn't expecting anything. Let's stand in front of this pillar and let's get a checkout photo and figure out what our word is for today. I don't even know.
Do I have a thing to be appreciative about, or is it just like...
Oh, you get to take it home with you if you would like, or you can throw it to somebody here if you're like, no, I wanted to appreciate somebody. Oh, wait, no one? Did you get an appreciation game? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Yes,
Oh.
you do. No and
Uh,
cold. Yes.
Okay.
She was least
Yeah.
expecting it, but she still was expecting it.
Oh no, I did. I did get
Oh,
an
you did?
appreciation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
you
thought so.
From Axel, right?
Accent.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, good. I was like, I thought
You're so
I
sweet, though.
counted. Okay. So let's you get to keep it as a gift. This is your
Okay.
souvenir. You can
I
put it
have the
on your
ball.
avatar. Yep. Eat it or blend it or whatever. And if you want to
blend it.
if you want to stand next to us, and the creature down there is welcome to join, pink creature. Yeah. Whatever word comes to mind for our evening tonight, just go ahead and shout it out, and this whole episode will be named the word that we pick. What's our word for
Oh
tonight?
boy.
Yeah, no pressure.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Mantis.
Mantis.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
I like
Mantis.
mantis actually.
Mantis. Pumpkin
Pumpkin
mantis. Okay,
mantis.
that's
And then
it.
the wallflower at
It's a
the end is a
pumpkin
fun
mantis
little
evening.
extra.
All right, there we go.
The
On
pumpkin
Dun Day.
mantis incident of
That's right.
2024.
Ooh, ooh, that sounds like a pain point for next week for sure. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your endurance. Let's say goodbye to our viewing, streaming audience. Thank you, everybody.
Adios.